I knew that there was a way. I had inched forward in my life, moving forward, doing things like meditation, doing the work in outdoor education, doing mentoring work. But what I noticed is that in the area of, especially of relationships, I kept falling back into these patterns, or even if I overcame them, I kept on attracting the same people. As I got to the place of leverage where I needed to change something because I wanted a different life. And when you spoke with me and you said, like, I think it was the way you spoke with me, and you caught me saying certain things or doing certain things. You said, Laura, this, if you're serious about this, this is what you need to do.
You first have to get you back. And again, to get you back, that's conditioning. When you get you back first and you're now at this level, people want to line up with you. Think about it. A lot of you are dealing with breakups and you're kind of in a rut, you're in a fog. No one wants to be around you. And the decision to be in a relationship is an emotional decision. It's not logical. You know, you can't take a PowerPoint presentation and say, oh, you're going to want to be around me because of A, B, and C. It doesn't work like that. People either want to be around you or they don't, based on how they feel when they're around you. So if you have a relationship that's not going so well, you can have all the concepts in the world, but if you're not enjoyable to be around, good luck with that. That's not going to work out very well. You can have all the best qualities in the world, but if someone doesn't enjoy their experience with you, that's not going to work out too well. But to get yourself back there, you can't concept your way there. That's a conditioning. That's your ability to control the way you feel, okay? Go to refocusonhappiness.com. What you want to do is you want to click the button at the top, contact Lance. Very, very easy form. When you go there, you'll see you put your name, your last name, your email address, and your phone number. And I will get in touch with you in just a few days, okay? Just be a little patient. I got a lot of people I work with, but I'll get in touch with you in 72 hours maximum. But after you do that contact Lance link, feel free to scroll around here. Again, Steve Martin has a great phrase. He says, be so good at what you do, people cannot ignore you. If you scroll down, you'll see testimonials from psychologists, doctors, zillions and zillions and zillions of past clients, including medical directors, et cetera, et cetera. So like I said, I'm making this so obvious for you, what I represent for you, what I believe. The only reason you would not do this is if you're a glutton for punishment. So yeah, feel free to take a good look around. Again, I'm gonna make it very clear what I represent for you if this is something you're serious about, okay? Awesome. Look forward to speaking to you soon. There we go. All right, Laura, we're in business now. Now I see it. Wonderful. All right. Yeah, it's right. All right. So good to have you here. Let me just change my view so we're side by side here. There we go. All right, Laura. Well, I feel like we've been working together for about a year now. It's been a long time.
It has. It's almost been a full year. It's been I think not.
It's funny. I just got off the call with somebody who did a video testimony for me just a few minutes ago, and we just talked for a little bit. And I was telling him, like, listen, it's fucking impossible. If you keep doing what you've been taught, it's impossible to go backwards, and it's impossible not to move forwards. And I said to her, I said, listen, there's no way you will not be in a best relationship you've ever had. No way you'll not be there within a year. Impossible. And I remember, like, when you and I first connected, you know, you were kind of dealing with the aftermath of, you know, the past. and if you remember, you and I had several conversations about, like, well, should I do this? Should I talk? I'm like, don't do that. Focus on you. I go, I know where this is going ultimately. If you stay the course, you do your workout, you do the repetitions, and here you are. You're in an incredible place now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got news.
Yeah, you probably would never have believed me a year ago. I'm assuming.
Intellectually, I believed you. From experience, I needed to feel that over time to actually believe it. I got it up here. I'm like, I know it, but in some ways I didn't. You know, I guess I didn't know that from experience until I actually did it.
Yeah, and that comes full circle to the very basics of anyone who does this program. You know, just to say them, like, you might have ideas, but you can't speak how you don't feel. You can't make decisions in line with how you don't feel. If you feel like crap, you make crap decisions. If you feel like crap, you speak bad. And if you're limited by how you feel, well, that's why your relationships don't go in the directions you want to go, and that's why they keep floundering over and over again. That's what perpetuates that vicious cycle. But as you know, if you come back, and what's so interesting about you, Laura, is, you know, you came into this with a very good understanding of neuroplasticity. I remember the very first time we spoke, you'd written a paper on it. This is what you had that background, but it all came down to, you know, do you have that practical application to make it real? And that's the whole difference.
Yes, I would agree.
So tell me here, like, again, I'm just gonna ask general questions. You talk however you want, and this will make a great video here. So if you go back to our first conversation where, again, you have this background in brain science, neuroplasticity, and then we're having this conversation where I'm like, I'll help you make it real so you can actually live that way. How would you, what was your impression the first time you and I spoke? Like what was it about our conversation with your background that made you say, you know what, I have a feeling there's some dials I'm not turning here that can make this actually work? What was it about the conversation that made you decide to move forward?
Well, there were a few things. One was for me, a big piece of that was I knew that there was a way. I had inched forward in my life, moving forward, doing things like meditation, doing the work in outdoor education, doing mentoring work. But what I noticed is that in the area of, especially of relationships, I kept falling back into these patterns, or even if I overcame them, I kept on attracting the same people. As I got to the place of leverage where I needed to change something because I wanted a different life. And when you spoke with me and you said, like, I think it was the way you spoke with me, and you caught me saying certain things or doing certain things. You said, Laura, this, if you're serious about this, this is what you need to do. And I'm going to share with you, you just follow the formula, do this, and you can get to where you want to go. And as I listened to you, everything you were speaking informationally made sense. It clicked to me, and having the way you were describing that, bringing the change in physiology with the words, which weren't just repeating words, is actually like replacing old programming really spoke to me. And your conviction in the way you hold yourself and the way you worked with me, and you were very direct with me. You were very kind. You were also very no nonsense, and I like that.
Yeah.
And I knew
that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Testimonials, I'm like, well, that's something that I really wanted to develop more of myself. It's something that works really well for me. And I just trusted the process. And I knew, in hearing you say that if I follow this and I'm dedicated to it, I'll get results. And I noticed after the first week I did. And it was nice to have something consistent, easy, attainable. I really liked the physical aspect of it. In the music part, there was a lot of elements in your program in addition to the content, and having something I could do every day, and learn. And I love learning and growth. That's one of my values. This program really appealed to me, and I started to see results right away. It gave me an anchor to return to if I started to falter. Sorry about that. I blinked out.
That's all right.
Yeah, it gave me an anchor to I think that was a benefit too, whether I did it in 6 weeks or 6 months or however long. I always have something to return to every day.
Yep.
Yeah. And has made all the difference. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's funny about all these like interesting, like, conversations, different people, depending upon, what their model of the world was. And you were so unique because you'd had that background.
You froze.
You had. Oh, sorry. I was saying you were so unique in the fact that you came into the call with that background. You understood, but I mean, for you to not do this,
like, why?
What's that?
It's like, why is this still happening if I know this? It's like, what is the key that's missing?
Yeah. Little did you know, it was 30 minutes.
Frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So let's see here. So now here we are. Fast forward. It's been a while, of course, because you did the program for a long period of time, which is fine. But it's
been great.
Right. What's that? It's
been great. It's nice. It's been nice having a little extra time to do it every day.
Sure, of course. So my next question is, when I told you in the beginning, and again, this is great for the people also, not just people that might consider doing this program, but also people in the course now, because it's nice to have, I put on I don't know if you saw hers, but I put on one of my favorite ones recently, Annie's. It was such a great depiction of what you can expect. Because again, like everyone it's not easy. I tell people, like, this is not a magic trick. You're going to have to do your work. And she just did such an incredible narration, just a very realistic narration of how it goes. And it's really awesome for even you who's graduating now to see it, because it really reaffirms what you experience. Because at the end of the day, everyone likes to think their situation's so unique. but it's not. I have human muscles. You have human muscles. We all have human muscles. Okay, that might be true, that I might not have the same potentialities like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but my human muscles will grow and respond in accordance to the stimulus I give it. Just like my human brain. You have a human brain, I have a human brain. It's going to move and respond if you give it the right stimulus. Doesn't take away from the fact that, yes, some people have different potentialities. Okay, fair enough. But we're all going to move. And what's really great is even if you see that video, it just reaffirms to you, it's like, of course, that's going to go in that direction. This all lines up with everything I know from a scientific standpoint that backs it up. And my experience, know that I've already lived it, it lines up with everyone else's as well. Again, some people move faster, some people move slower, but everyone moves. So here's my question for you. This will be interesting. With your science background, when I told you what you could expect and where this was going to go ultimately, did you think I was maybe a little crazy the first time we spoke? Like, were you like, no. I know this guy's talking. Did you almost think that I was almost like, did you almost think that I was almost like too confident about, like, I don't know, like, how's this guy doing this? And no one, you know, but what did you think of as far as what I told you was in on the table for you ultimately?
I believed you. I didn't think you were crazy at all. I saw you as a person who had gone through the personal experience. I think that this part of your story that really was compelling to me was that at one point it relates to one of the incantations that the right opportunities will be there at the right time. And you had gone through, you know, you shared about your experience as a dating coach, and you had applied. I think you had gone into this seminar, and you had this feeling about this place, but and things didn't quite click, and you went back like you were in jury duty and somehow ran into somebody who worked in this place, and it just linked up. Your stories of experience really resonated with me, because I know that to be true from my own experience with synchronicities and things lining up at the right time. And it was when I heard you speak, I can tell that it was true. It was true for you. And it was true for you in your experience working with other people and hearing those testimonials. I didn't doubt it. I think, if anything, the doubt came from, like, can I do it? Am I capable of experiencing a life that's different than I've known before? I really wanted to believe it. Like, can I have a relationship that feels different? Can I be a person and show up in a different way? That part was intellectualized, but I hadn't experienced that from experience, maybe incrementally. I know I've changed over the course of my life, but that part to me I felt more doubtful about that, but I had full faith in you.
Okay.
And I had that I didn't think you were crazy, because I know from the work I've seen other friends do with coaches, I've seen their inner work, that they had somehow gotten to the place that I want to be, and they'd done the work, and I just didn't know what kind of work I needed to do.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what you were speaking really resonated to me, because it seemed like a good fit.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's interesting. People to come in from different reference points based on their background. With your background, I thought it had to make sense for you, but for some people,
it did.
Like, I'll speak to people that never even heard of, like, neuroplasticity before. I'm like, for them, it's a little unique, because everything they've been taught their whole life is completely contrary to that, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to hear from someone who has that background. So now, fast forward, Laura. I mean, how would you say? I don't know. I want to ask this properly here. As far as where you're at now, did you even, like, how much further beyond are you as far as where you're at versus, that's kind of, I'm getting at here. Like,
I can't wait to tell you.
Did you even surprise yourself as far as where you're at this point?
Life is so different. I have news. So this is a 360 for example, from last year, where I was at the point of leverage after being in a very emotionally abusive relationship, and being in a place of not knowing how to get out, how to change that, thinking it was my fault, all this stuff. And then, worked on myself all summer. And then in the fall, like right before the fall, I reconnected with an old friend from when I knew in 2007, and we started to see each other, and we hit it off. And what's wonderful, sorry about that blinking off. What's wonderful is I am engaged.
Wow.
Married.
Congratulations.
He proposed. in November, and it's official. We told my parents yesterday and his parents, and it's been wonderful. He's like so loving, and we have amazing communication. He loves the coaching work that I do, and we learn and grow together. And we are just, I have the most loving, kind, thoughtful, communicative partner. And I'm very feminine. He's very masculine. He's like this anchor for me is really present. And we were at the Tulip Festival in the Skagit Valley yesterday, and I was noting tonight, actually, I was like, wow, when I went there, I was seeing families and people and partnerships, and I didn't have this sense of, I used to have this deep sense of longing for wanting that and not having it. And I'd go to these things on my own or with friends, and I'd feel like I didn't have it. I still had an okay time, but the sadness was so deep. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, when is that going to happen for me? What do I need to do to have that? And I was there yesterday, and I was just having a great time, and I was so grateful, and I felt so present and so hopeful for what's ahead. There's work to be done in any relationship to maintain that with myself and with him every day. And right now, the big thing for me is actually changing careers and vocation. And that's a real stuck point. But as far as I feel like this foundation of practice, and he supports me doing my practice every day. He's curious about it. It really supports me to be in that healthy relationship with him and myself. It's a foundational part of that. And so my life is just like beyond where I even thought was possible. And it's great. And this training is a core foundational piece of that, because I can always I return to it all the time, every morning. If I'm having a tough time, like I'll go out and I'll come back with answers, or at least like that frustration, like, oh man, I go to frustration a lot. And knowing that, okay, this is a breakthrough. There's a breakthrough on the other end of this. I'll come home and I'll usually come to the next place of clarity to move forward. And if I ever get stuck, it's not for long. Usually it's, a few hours or a day, or not even. It's those stuck moments are few and far between, and they've always been a launching off point. And really gives me an excellent toolbox for anything. Mm-hmm. Like I've just been building upon this understanding, and I brought that into my relationship, and fortunately he supports that, because now we have this common vernacular, and it's great.